Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm going to get started, and if people come, they come. Come late, leave early. But I am, with my German roots, start on time, end on time. But welcome. Welcome to Shabbat services. For the next few weeks, we'll be here, and then we switch to Our Lady of Lebanon. And then we'll be there for a few weeks till we finally get back into the BHS sanctuary. So we are the wandering Jews at this point, officially. So I'm just going to begin with the Nigun. By Shamroo Prayer. So we, even though the sun hasn't quite set yet, we're going to officially begin Shabbat by lighting candles. Jeff, can I invite you to light candles for us tonight? If you wouldn't mind. We'll say the bracha all together, and you can do the machinations. You can make fire for us tonight. Let's all rise for the bracha right now. If you like, whatever you do. Try to make things easier. Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Be seated. If anyone has a book with them, we're going to continue on page 9. We're just up here on the screen with a reading for Shabbat. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. Together, on Shabbat, we seek not to acquire but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We continue on page 13, right up on the board, actually past. Please, let's go to the next one. Yeah, that one. With Yismehu Hashemayim, it's going to be the top paragraph. Yismehu Hashemayim v'tageh haaretz השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלואו ירם הים ומלואו ירם הים ומלואו ירם הים ומלואו ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. Continue on this same slide with the third paragraph, Romamu. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. Welcome, welcome. We're going to continue with Lechado D, page 20 if you have a Siddur. If not, right up on the board. And it's our custom to do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And at the last verse, I'll give you a signal and we rise, we turn to the door, and we welcome Shabbat as if she were a bride at a wedding with the same joy and the same delight. בני שבת נקבלה איי ליי ליי לך תודי לי כתקלה ליי 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 בני שבת נקבלה איי ליי שמור זכור בדיבור אחד ישמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה איי לך תודי לי כתקלה ליי 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 בני שבת נקבלה איי ליי לך תודי לי כתקלה ליי ליי בני שבת נקבלה איי ליי לקראת שבת לכו בנך כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה איי לך תודי לי כתקלה ליי בני שבת נקבלה איי ליי לך תודי לי כתקלה ליי בני שבת נקבלה איי ליי התעוררי היא באורך ומאורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נקרא איי לך תודי לי כתקלה ליי בני שבת נקבלה איי לך תודי לי כתקלה ליי בני שבת נקבלה. We rise, face the door, and sing the last verse. Boi v'shalom עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, הדודי קטלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, בני שבת נקבלה, איי די די, לך דודי קטלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, בני שבת נקבלה. Take a moment to greet while you're standing. Turn around, greet who you came with, greet someone you didn't come with, and wish everyone Shabbat Shalom. Come out there and say Shabbat. So we're going to continue on page 22, or up on the board behind me, with a psalm that Shabbat sings for itself. Every day of the week has a psalm that's kind of designated for it. And this one is a psalm for Shabbat. And it's a psalm that talks of how important it is to have gratitude on Shabbat. It's how we enter where our hearts need to be, in a place of gathering in those things for which we need to be grateful. And this one begins with the second line, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It is good to thank God. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, היי טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני. Continue with the Reader's Kaddish on page 26. And if you wouldn't mind rising again, Jewish calisthenics, and we'll remain standing for the call to worship immediately following. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמירה במבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקדושה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה וימרו. Amen. We remain standing for the Baruch Hu on page 28. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Ba'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Ba'ed. Adonai, 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 be seated. Continue with our reading of Ma'ariv Aravim, page 30. The prayer that is said in the evenings. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, ever-living God. May your reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue on page 32, the Ahavat Olam. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת, על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, באורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם בלילה, יומם בלילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. We continue with the Ve'ahavta, page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמן. Continue on page 39, right up behind me, with this reading from Mi Chamocha. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together. We sing Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele, nora tehilot, osef ele. מחותך ראו בניך וכהים לפני משה ומרים. זיני אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We continue with Hashkivenu, a prayer that asks God for God's presence, the Shekhinah, to hover over us when we are our most vulnerable, when we are asleep. The sages used to say that sleep was 1/60th of death. We approach this place in full vulnerability, and we pray with Hashkivenu that our souls are safeguarded while we are asleep. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shamreinu l'chaim, u'shmot tzedkenu u'vo'enu l'chaim u'l'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai Haporech sukat shalom Adonai aleinu ve'yakol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim Amen 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 Continue with the Shamroo prayer that is only said on Shabbat and reminds us to set this day aside as a special day, as a holy day, as the opposite of ordinary. However that is for you, it unites us with all the disparate types of Jews around the world, even ones we feel very different from. We're united in our setting aside of Shabbat. The Shamroo reminds us of that commandment. Shamroo b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. אלי ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. We rise for Tefillah. שפתיים תיתן יא לה 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 ופי יגיד תהילתך יא לה 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 אדוני יא לה 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 שפתיים תיתן יא לה 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 ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, ואלוהי רחל, ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יחללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. If it's your custom to be seated, you're welcome to do so. We continue in English on page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mokadesh HaShabbat. On page 57, ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. On page 59, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, latov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. We continue with the concluding prayer of the Tefillah, prayer for peace. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atah melech hadam lechol hashalom. Ki atah melech hadam lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. Take just a moment for personal prayer. You can Use what's in your heart. If you have a book, there are suggested words within. Just a few moments for personal prayer.
Shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru.
Fogging up. Whenever I'm asked to teach or lead a service solo, I always ask myself, what can I bring to the conversation that is different because I'm a cantor? This past Sunday, a few of us gathered online to observe the minor fast day of Tisha B'Av. It's a day set aside in our ritual to commemorate great tragedies in our ancient history, the most commonly known being the destruction of the temples. I chose to lead us in a deep dive into the special hymns of mourning that are traditionally sung only on Tisha B'Av, known as keynote. They are terrible poems describing scenarios of absolute desperation, but they are a vehicle through which we engage in the act of communal mourning. I've had reason to think more deeply and personally on the subject of mourning in the past few weeks. My father just had some major surgery, and I was with my parents throughout to support them. I could tell my mother was frightened, but you have to know her well to see it. When she's frightened or in mourning, she buries the feelings deep and wraps herself in something both my parents call the armor. They are both physicians. In fact, many people in my family are, and we all benefit from the ability to shield ourselves from emotions that would threaten to render us unable to do the work at hand. Indeed, it has served me well over the years in my own profession. But this Tisha B'Av, as we dove deeply into the meaning of the keynote, we were faced with questions about mourning. In Judaism, we set aside specific time to mourn. We also visit those in mourning so that they're not alone. But the keynote reminded me of something I don't often acknowledge, that God requires the process of mourning, that God commands that we be connected to our community and to each other when we're mourning. So what does that say about the armor my family is so good at throwing up? We needed to do our jobs, but at what cost? I've been reading a book called The Gift of Grief by Rabbi Matthew Givertz. In it, he discusses the vital importance of accepting pain for what it is, a very real part of our lives. He reminds the reader of one very important fact, that no matter what, eventually, grief will come to all of us. He is a great believer in being open to the process of being fully present in our grief, and that by allowing ourselves to suffer and experience suffering, we can then begin true healing. Therein lies the purpose of the keynote on Tisha B'Av. We're meant to be deeply moved, saddened, even shocked by the horrors in their words, so that we can fully experience the suffering of our people. But we are not left in that state indefinitely. In fact, this Shabbat begins 7 weeks of ascending out of grief, 7 weeks that culminate in Rosh Hashanah. We are entering a period of consolation. The Haftarah for this Shabbat is the first of 7 Haftarot of consolation, promising a time when we'll return from exile, a time of the arrival of the Messiah. It begins with the words, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Heal us, O my people. So, in the spirit of healing, as I watch my father make a full recovery, as we approach the High Holy Days and ascend from the depths of Tisha B'Av, I want to share a beautiful poem of healing by Rasika Sharma. I see, I feel, I need to take a step back. Step back from this elusive shrine. Step back from this life of mine. It's been evasive, misleading, hurtful, and a mime. I see, I feel, I need to take a step back from time. Feelings and emotions are but sublime, subjective and evasive, covered with grime. I recoil in despair as I struggle to hold these moments coated in sluggish slime. I see, I feel, I need to take a step back from time. Quintessential, embodied in my core, is this affection for you that I had bore. From the day you sparked the light of hope to this day, when I search once again in vain, from pillar to post. I see, I feel, I need to take a step back from time. Charade me no more. Don't try to beguile me with your fallacious lore. Leave me be with your lies, the lucid memory of pretentious smiles. My heart feels contrived, slighted by your discreetly hidden, slithering spite. I ached, I hurt, a lot, until courage picked pace and said no more. I see, I feel, I need to take a step back from time. Time to listen to my soul. Time to take it slow. Time to hear the birds sing in my ears. Time to let the trail tell me another tale. Time to feel the wind comb my hair as I lay my head to rest on the bosom of Mother Earth. Time to let the sun kiss away the wrinkles of time. Time to free my feet and watch them dance to the music of the universe's ethereal beat. I see, I feel, I need to take a step back from time, to heal me from within and preserve that what's mine. So, very fittingly, this is the moment in the service when we say a prayer for healing. I want to share the names of the community that we have on our list, and then I'll invite you all to share names. And then, rather than do Debbie Friedman's Mishbeach, I want to honor today's Haftarah by singing a setting by Shefa Gold to the very words of the Haftarah, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Heal us, my people. So the people we're thinking of in our community are Lori Blum, Gloria Sancho, Jenny St. George, Chava Gittel Bat Frida, Yona Chaya Bat Miriam, Ruth Bat Binyamin Bachava, Steve Brown Inns, Yona Tevya Ben Leibel Vigiti Hrenya, Renee Fishzone, Moshe Ben Leah, Nancy Lazar, Delroy Aline, Max Astrov, Chaika Bat Freda, Chaim, Kim Petchek, Peggy Einhorn, Bruce Nygren, Eleanor Shapiro Nygren, Bela Rivka Bat Shmuel Pesach de Esther, Susan Sonkin, David Stephen Cohen, Andrea Feller, Peter Hort, Vlada Rusev, Nick Boyer, Eileen Dernfeld, Tom Walton, Chris Adam, Tim Weber, and Jay Wertheimer. As I put my hand around the room, I invite you to share anyone you have holding in your heart today. I want to share my father, Alexander Ben Sarah. So the words are easy. I'll say them one more time. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami.
Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Nachamu, 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 Ami. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Nachamu, 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 Ami.
We wish them full healing of body and of spirit. We continue with prayers for our country and for the state of Israel. Go to the next one. Yes, together. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country sound in body and spirit, and we say Amen in our prayer for Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Grant them deliverance and adorn them in a mantle of victory. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there, and we say Amen. We continue with our concluding prayers, beginning with Aleinu, page 283. If you're looking in a book, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, באמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום וחשב אותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. ושמו אחד.
We remain standing as we move to remembering those who are in mourning, those who are observing a yard site. And I'm going to begin with recent passings in our community. I hope I pronounced this right. Jitel Ryan is Katie Ryan, our Hebrew School Director's grandmother, just passed. Betty Green Eitzes. I got it? Eitzes. Aunt of Natalie Green Giles. And you're in that period of having just experienced a passing and yet have yet to lay her to rest. But we still wish you, of course, comfort and from your community and all of us. Irving Gottbaum and also Nahoma Nikki Rosenbaum, who's the mother of Daniel Rosenbaum and family. And of those who are observing a yard site in our community, the names are Alan Meyer, remembered by Lori Lassen, Renata Elias, remembered by Monica Elias, Dr. Donald Klein, remembered by Jerry Armine Klein, Leonard Edward, remembered by Evelyn Leonard, Henry Lee Fong, remembered by Anna Fong, Henry Cohen, remembered by Janice Collado, Edna Perlman, remembered by the BHS community, Arnold Gill, remembered by Allison Gill, Andrei Yakrzuski, remembered by Dominic Yakrzuski, I hope I'm saying that right, and I'm probably not. Elaine Shine, remembered by Howard Shine. Jeffrey Coleman, remembered by Arlene Brown. Beatrice Barad, remembered by Alexis Barad Cutler. Bessie Bushlow, remembered by Theodore Bushlow. Sarah Katowitz, remembered by Miriam Katowitz. Loretta Teich, remembered by Robert Teich. Daniel Sobel, remembered by William Sobel. Marvin Starkman, remembered by Benjamin Starkman. Aaron Newhouse, remembered by Robin Slade, Ed Gabay, Jesse and family. Alvin Zagnit, remembered by Stuart Zagnit. Marvin Starkman, remembered by Phyllis Starkman. Hyman Whitner, remembered by Nancy Lazar. Milton Wechler, remembered by Patricia Rosenblum. Henrietta Lieb, remembered by Amy Leisman. Morris Kaufman, remembered by Amy Kaufman. Stanley A. Spano, remembered by the BHS community. Julie Lindenbaum Penharlow, remembered by Dina Lynn Chen. Marilyn Miles, remembered by Eric Sontag. David A. Weinbaum, remembered by the BHS community. And Israel Jacques Krukowski, remembered by Dr. Blanche Krukowski. I'm going to pass my hand around the room, and please correct me if I said a name wrong. And if you have additional names to share, I invite you to do so. I also want to wish a happy birthday to Helene, who is still in our hearts, as her passing is still so fresh for many of us. We will recite the Mourner's Kaddish, found on page 296. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba Amen. Be'alma divrach chirutei be'amlich malchutei. B'chayeichon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'b'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yahei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'l'arnei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadav v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei d'kedisha v'yichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Yaseh shalom b'mamav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who causes peace in the heavens above cause peace to descend to all of us here on earth. And we sing Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Imrama Hu Yaseh Shalom
אמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
ואמרו amen. You may be seated. It's customary in the summer not to have formal announcements, but there's not much going on except Shabbat. There's always Shabbat. We are gearing up for the holy days. We're gearing up for moving from this space to Our Lady of Lebanon as of Labor Day weekend. So the Shabbat of Labor Day weekend, we will be in Our Lady of Lebanon, which is on Henry and Remsen, right on the corner. So right around the corner from the center. Also, other side of the block, but still very close. And we'll be there for all services except all of our High Holy Day services, which will be, of course, in Plymouth Church. So we're very happy about that. So that's what's happening right now. So we're going to conclude with Adon Olam on 321, and then we'll make Kiddush down here and Motzi up there. And I thought I'd share this melody I learned at camp, since so many of my students are in camp right now, and I'm calling them from camp, and their bar mitzvah materials got wet by bathing suits and stuff like that. So. But camp is on my brain, so I want to share this Adon Olam melody that I learned at Jewish summer camp.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa v'chefso kol azay melech shemo nikra. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa v'chefso shema nikra. Ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora, vehu haya vehu hole, vehu yeh b'tifara, vehu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshilo lehachbira beli reshit beli Adon Olam, Adon Olam, asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa v'chefso kol azay melech shemo nikra. Vehu eli v'chai goali v'tzuechev li v'etzara vehu nisi umanos li Akosu b'yom ekra, beyado afkid ruchi, ve'iti shan ve'aira, ve'im ruchi geviyati, Adonai li ve'lo ira. Adon Olam, Adon Olam, asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'nasa v'chefso melech shemo nikra.
So we'll make Kiddush down here. Wine glass is upstairs, full of wine. Once we make the bracha, you're welcome to take one and drink. You don't have to re-say the bracha if you say it now. Just a little technical tip. So we sing the Friday night Kiddush, if everyone would please rise. And it's found on page 4 in the Siddur, or right on the screen behind me.
Vayir vayivoker yom hashishi, vayichulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam, vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa, vayishbat bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו שברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים. I invite you to partake of some wine upstairs, and I'll come up there and make motzi with you guys. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom to everyone on the Zoom. Thank you for joining. And Torah study tomorrow is at 9:30 right here with Rabbi Sue Oren. Shabbat shalom.